Hello everybody, my name is Harry Baker and welcome to Number Confidence Week, Confidence Conversations. I am a poet and a mathematician, and for a long time thought maths didn't belong in my line of work, but I've got more confident with that. And today I am joined by a couple of inspiring people who are going to talk about how maths and number confidence has helped them in their line of work, and hopefully end of the day we're going to be helping you too. So I would love to invite our guests on. I'm joined by Sean Dixon, who is a former coordinator for Astor Union Lifelong Learning, and also by Alba Fernández, who is an associate therapy practitioner for Sussex Community NHS Foundation Trust. Alba and Sean, thank you so much for being with me. Everything all right?
Wonderful.
I'm going to speak to you first, Sean, if that's okay. I would love to hear about what your role was at Astor and how you helped your colleagues with their number confidence.
So I was a USDAR Union Learning Rep, so ULR, and one of 750 USDAR reps across the country. My DHL Argos site was one of 70 that had an online learning centre, on-site learning centre, which made it easy for members and colleagues to access learning. Particularly those who hadn't engaged with learning much since they'd left school. The confidence gained also benefited USDAR and Union Learn because participants became more active as members and advocated and acted as ambassadors for lifelong learning and numeracy. Also helped break the stigma of learning, numeracy and functional skills at all levels, not just shop floor.
Fantastic. And I think you're right. And you feel like it's this unending void of learning. You forget that everyone starts off knowing nothing and we kind of build slowly. So I think to be able to show people how far they've come is a fantastic thing. So thank you very much. I'd love to bring in Alba as well. Alba, could you explain a bit about what you do as an associate therapy practitioner? What's your role, but also how the numbers play into that?
So I'm working at the community services, and I work with physiotherapists and occupational therapists. So we basically go out to the patient's house to support them with the rehab long term, as well when they get discharged from the hospital. So we help them to settle at home and put in place a plan to help them with the rehab process at home. So in terms of occupational therapy, it helped me a lot to understand, like I have to measure equipment, measure patients, make sure that it's going to be matching, for example, for a chair or a toilet raise or a wheelchair. So many different pieces of equipment that needs to be in place and needs to be exactly that, like a bath board for the bath to help with the bathing aids. But as a physio as well side, we do get as well some math, like for the range of movement on the joints, you need to know how much are the degrees of that knee bend or things that I never imagined that math could be that involved. And when I start to do my functional skills, I actually find it quite useful. Also, in any job and in mine as well, it helps a lot to know about the taxes, the new pay rises, the time off, annual leave. When they say you get an email, you need to take the 25% of your annual leave by this quarter, things like that. That is maths as well. And before I was like, I don't know. But now I like, I have everything more clear and I feel more confident with all of that. Yeah. And I think that helped me a lot without me realizing that I was doing it. So that was great.
Fantastic. Yeah, I think the number one question I had when learning maths at school was, how does this apply to life? How can we use it? And I think one mistake people make is to think, oh, maths is only useful if you're working in computing and statistics. But as you said, there's so many practical ways that you can use it. And I mean, it sounds like now you're using maths a lot. How did this journey start with you?
So when I started this job last year in July, they asked me to retake my care certificate because it was from a different company. So the NHS asked you to retake the care certificate. So I had to enroll on that, and they asked me to do the math challenge. So I was so scared to do it. And then I thought, okay, yeah, I'm a bit rusty, but the knowledge is there. I just need a bit of refreshment. But no, scared. I think more ashamed to ask. But then when you ask, you realize that people that think they are super confident, they don't have a clue either. So it's actually it's nice to sit down and laugh about and try to work out the answers. And at the end, they asked me to do my functional skills to get access to university. So I thought, okay, I did the challenge, and the second time it wasn't that bad. So I think I just need to sit down and refresh all of this knowledge that I learned at the school, and it seems like it's really far away. So this is what I did, and I got involved everyone, like my mom, which was a math teacher in primary school in Spain, my partner who is English, and he apparently studied here, and all my friends here as well. And sometimes when I was stuck in a mock exam or a thing that I wasn't sure how to work it out, I was texting in all the different WhatsApp groups. And I thought, I don't feel as bad when I see like many people is trying to work out that thing as well. But I was never ashamed to ask. I wanted to know why is it like that. I'm a person that I wanted to know. Some people, it was like, you just do it now, you have the mechanism, you repeat it. No, I wanted to understand why I'm doing that, so then I can apply it for different things. So it was taking me longer, but now I feel more confident, and I don't feel like, oh, I'm so scared and to do it. I will just do it. And the good thing is it opened the doors for me to access to UNIVAC again, and I think make me feel more confident on that new path that I'm going to follow.
Definitely. And I think it's such an important thing. Having number confidence isn't claiming to be an expert. It's being confident enough to ask for help. And as you say, as soon as you ask other people, you realize they're in a similar position. You know, they are on this journey, and some people have never thought about why these things are the way they are. But as you say, having the support, whether it's WhatsApp groups, whether it's someone who you know who is a teacher, whether it's just things you can do yourself, I think it is that bit by bit thing. And then we kind of get through it that way. So that's fantastic. And people watching this, you can also search for the National Numeracy Challenge. And that's a fantastic way to get started. It's what Alba's done. And it's part of this journey that we're all on. And I think, again, it's important to think this is not a start and end goal. It's always a journey, growing in confidence, growing in number skills. So I think it's fantastic what you're doing. If I could bring you back in, Sean, obviously we're doing this in the context where due to COVID, lots of people are struggling to find work at the moment. How do you think being confident with numbers can help people as they're searching for jobs?
Well, you mentioned the numeracy challenge as well, but the fear of maths and numbers can be overcome, but it's going to take some effort, and you can change where you are. And it's exactly the same with your job searches. Confidence, I suppose, you gain from getting better at something spills over. So one of my learners in the pilot, Amy, found out that a confidence in other areas, not just the numeracy, through doing the challenge, it lifted. Being comfortable around numbers also can help, because a lot of employers, when you go for a job, they may have aptitude tests. So if you're suddenly given a piece of paper with a load of maths questions on and you're not confident, then that could be a stumbling block. But also being confident to explain your numeracy skills, the kind of things that you used to do, and recognizing those. So like Alba was saying, the amount of different things that are involved with numeracy in her job, if you can then talk to your future employer about these. So I always saw national numeracy as a really accessible piece of CPD, so continuous development. But also, if you know where your skills are and those where you need to work at improving them, that behaviour to perform like a SWOT analysis on yourself, it's a transferable skill that an employer will be looking for. And the new skills you gain can also make you feel more capable. So we're not very good at selling ourselves, and 9 times out of 10 we'll look at a job and think, no, that's not for me, and just swipe straight past it. But that confidence you've got may make you apply for the job that really is for you. It's just a shame during COVID that one of the funding strands for unions were cut, which may have an impact.
And I think, as well as being confident with numbers, you mentioned the word comfortable there, and that is something you can practice at. And even when it's daunting at first, the more we practice, the hopefully more comfortable and confident. Alba, is there anything you would add to that in terms of looking for work?
I think is the main problem with maths is everyone is being so scarce since they were small, and they feel so embarrassed to ask and admit, I can't remember how to work out fractions, or I can't remember how to do a percentage. So people just get embarrassed. And then as well in the jobs descriptions, when they say Excel or maths, it's like, oh my God, no. And it's the same with everything. It needs practice. Is there, the knowledge is there, you just needs practice and the right support next to you for you to ask and practice that, and then you'll realize that it's not as horrendous and difficult, and that will give you the empowerment and the confidence that you need to keep moving forward, because this is scared for everyone. New things are scared for everyone, but if you don't practice, you will never learn, and then you will be stuck in your box and not exploring what is outside. And it's why if you get that confidence, or you feel like actually I'm not as bad in math, then it will help you to apply for different opportunities and maybe keep growing in a different environment or file that you never expected that it will happen, and you might even enjoy it. So don't feel embarrassed, ask, because it's the best thing to do in actually not just not in math, everything, but even more in maths. Don't feel embarrassed because everyone is in the same boat actually.
Definitely. I think that's such good advice. I would love to talk about this forever. I realize that there's lots of these conversations happening, and people can absolutely find out more. If you're watching this on social media, there will be a link in the description. Search for Number Confidence Week online, and there's so many resources there. And if you are feeling inspired and you want to get involved, then head to National Numeracy Challenge and start your own learning journey, just like Sean and Alba. Thank you so much, and hopefully you will continue to use numbers, inspire others, and we can keep on to greater things.
Thank you.